Greetings and welcome to another installment from the Patchwork Productionz Learn to Crochet for Beginners series. In this video, we will learn how to make a handbag. For those of you who are new to my channel, my name is Stitch, and Patchwork Productionz is all about learning and doing crochet. So make sure you subscribe so you never miss another installment. Without further ado, let's get started. So in this video, we are going to be making a handbag. More so what girls would wear. I doubt I'd see a guy with this, but it's something that anyone can make. And as you can see here, I have quite a few things already laid out. Let me just say, first of all, I'm using two colors. One is the main color of the bag, and the other is just like a trim or additional color. My color combination may be a bit interesting, we'll find out, but you can use any color you'd like. These are both weight 4 yarns, medium worsted weight. I'll also be using a K10.5 size hook, which is a 6.5 millimeter hook, if you can see that there. And so we work this pattern in the lemon peel stitch, which that was the video that I made previously. So I encourage you to watch that so that you can see how to do the lemon peel stitch. But the pattern for this bag is very, very simple. You're basically just making a couple of rectangles and joining them together in a certain way. So the way we begin this piece, this is basically the main, I guess you could say, body of the bag. It's kind of small, but it'll be okay. So this is like the main body of the bag, and the way this was started was with the foundation single crochet, which again, I made a previous tutorial video on that, so I would encourage you to check that out. But briefly, I'll just show you a quick version of the foundation single crochet. So if we just get this here, we're going to make a chain of 2, 1 and 2, and we're going to work into the first chain, and we're going to draw a loop. We're going to yarn over and draw a loop through that loop we just pulled, and then we're going to yarn over and finish these 2 loops like a single crochet. And that's one of our foundation single crochets. We're then going to go back into the bottom loop right here and repeat. So we're going to draw a loop, yarn over, draw another loop, 2 loops left on the hook, yarn over, draw through 2 loops, and you're going to continue doing that. Again, I have a video on that, so go check that out if you want to learn more details on how to do this. But you're going to do that 24 times. So you're going to basically have a foundation chain or a foundation single crochet of 24 stitches. And then with 24 stitches, you're going to work the lemon peel stitch pattern. And you're going to do that for quite a few rows. Total rows will be, I believe, 48. You're going to have 48 rows total. That includes the foundation single crochet. Because that foundation single crochet acts as the first row, the way it's worked. So you're going to have a total of 48 rows when you're done. But here I'm at a point, I believe it would be the 30 something, I don't know, but I've marked my rows here, and it's the 21st loop or whatever you want to call it. I left this in here so I can mark my rows. And right here, what we're going to do, I'm just going to show you, is we're going to actually we're going to skip the section right up here. You know what? For your sakes, let me count this so I can see exactly which row this is. So we have 2, 4, 6, 8, 10, 12, 14, 16, 18, 20, 22, 24, 26, 28, 30, 32, 34, 36, 38, 40, and then this would be 41. All right, so this is going to be the 41st row, and perhaps I will do it a little further, but what you're going to do, I'll just show you here. What you're going to do is you're going to continue the pattern of the lemon peel stitch until about the middle here, and then you're going to skip some. So you're going to make a little hole in the work. So let me just put some stitches in here so that you can see. So you chain 1, we're just going to do this, working the lemon peel stitch, this pattern stitch. So we've gone 10 stitches in, 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10. And now I'm just going to chain 4. 1, 2, 3, 4. And frankly, if you think this is going to be too big, because this is actually going to be basically a button hole. So if you think that this is going to be too big, you can just chain, you can do one more stitch. So that would be, let's see here, single crochet, you do one more, so that's 11 on this side. You can chain 2 and just have a buttonhole with a chain of 2. I'm probably just gonna stick with this because I'm here, and so although I may change it later, but now we continue the pattern and we're gonna skip these 2. So this would be the next stitch. That's for the first chain. Second stitch. That's for the second chain. So we're going to be working into this one, and we have to do the pattern, so we're working into a single crochet, therefore we will be doing a double crochet. And so you see the pattern continues. It looks a little funny, but when you do the extra rows, it will make sense. It'll all even out. Otherwise, you can just do it so that you end and start on a common stitch. So in this case, it would be a little awkward because the button wouldn't be centered, but I could do a chain of 3, and then the next stitch I'd be doing is a single crochet, in which case we now have, it's even, but it's not centered. So it's pretty much up to you what you're going to do. But basically, after we do this, we're going to have a little buttonhole that we can have so that we can keep the little handbag closed. So I'm just going to actually go ahead and just finish the rest of this and then show you the end so that you can see what the completed version of this would look like. There's going to be some other pieces added to it to actually make it look like a bag, but we'll see that in a second. Alright, so I finished, and this is what we have. This is my buttonhole. If you think this is too small for your liking or whatever the case might be, you can make it bigger. I left it at 2 chains. That seemed fine for me, and what I did when I worked the other rows on top of it was I just worked in the chain space. So it was a double crochet and a single crochet for my pattern, and so that's just what I did. Now I did end up changing things on you guys. Hopefully the official pattern will be in the description box, but I ended up putting my buttonhole where I did my chain on row 46, and then I did 47 and 48 on top of that, so I did 2 rows on top of that chain 2 that I did there. So I did eventually move it up, but this is the total 48 rows. Those 48 rows include the foundation single crochet that we did to start it, and so this is what we have. This is the main body. Now, The other pieces you'll need to make are these. Again, they are also worked in the lemon peel stitch, and we do start them with the foundation single crochet. You do a foundation single crochet of 12 stitches, and then from there you proceed to make the lemon peel stitch pattern until you get 12 rows, which is what we have here. And again, I marked it like this so I can just count these loops very easily. 2, 4, 6, 8, 10, 12, and I know that I have 12 rows. So again, these 12 rows include the foundation single crochet, which would technically be our first row. And so these pieces are going to be the side of the bag. So how this works is we take it from the bottom. So this is the buttonhole side, this is the bottom where we started crocheting, and we're going to just fold this up just to give you the idea of what this is going to look like. And then this piece will be right here, joined there, and this piece will be joined here at the other side. And this is of course hard to demonstrate because I cannot defy gravity, so everything is just going to fall over. It's not going to be perfect, but the idea is that the bag comes up and joins there, and then this is the flap that opens and closes. Now you may find, I'm going to actually see, but you may find that you think that the flap is too short when it goes to close. In that case, you can either add more rows or make this shorter. Say do 10 rows instead of 12, and then you'll have more flap to go over. I'm gonna see, I'm expecting that it's gonna come somewhere around like the second or third row here. I don't think I'm gonna have too big a problem with that, but then again, this is a girl's handbag, so girls, whatever you like, do it. But yes, this is what we're going to do. So after you make these two pieces, you're going to want to join them to the sides. Of course, after removing whatever form of stitch marker you have and kind of trimming up the ends. You may not necessarily need to weave them in depending on how you're joining them, but otherwise weave in your ends. I'm probably going to weave in a couple of these and cut some other ones short. And so yes, you will join that, and then we can move on to the rest of this project. What you may want to do in your spare time whenever you decide to make this project is make some foundation single crochets that are very long. These are about 120 to 124 stitches here, and this is literally just the foundation single crochet in the two colors that we've chosen. You're going to need these because these are going to be the handbag straps, and you may get a little bored out just crocheting these, so take your time, but do be aware that you're going to need to have this as well. So I'm going to go ahead and join these. Got me some yarn needles here, and I'm just going to use some yarn and join these all together so that we can start getting this to look more like, you know, a bag. So this turned out a lot better than I thought, I have to say. So you can see here that I went ahead and joined up the two smaller pieces to the side so it looks something like this. Joined it here. Now I didn't actually express this, but it would be a good idea, because we started from the bottom, the foundation single crochet is going to be up top here. And what I decided to do was do the same thing for these sides. So the foundation single crochet side, I joined to the foundation single crochet side of the bigger piece, just to keep it consistent. I mean, it's kind of a minute detail, but hey, it's something. So something you can consider. If you didn't do that, it's not a huge deal. You don't have to join terribly sophisticated. I just did a simple whip stitch, but you can do any kind of join you want. You could have done it with like single crochet, slip stitch. I just did something simple, and later you can add an edging to this. I may or may not, haven't decided, but there's definitely going to be an edging around here, which is what you're going to do next. But let me say, it can be a little challenging to get this even with the other side. What I ended up doing, here's some tips for you, is I left my stitch marker in because then I could say, oh, at this row is between this row and this row, which would be row 0, or the first row, and this row, which I forgot what the count was. I would join, and then on the other side I could do the same thing. The only thing was I don't have this row marker on the other side, so I sort of attempted to put a line across to try to even it out to where the end of the first one was to now the end of the next one I was going to be joining, and then try to maneuver it there. So there are a couple of things, I mean, not the best options, but a few things you can do to try to get them evened. Otherwise, you could just mark it as you make one of the patterns. That's one way, or you can have another way of counting your rows. I can't really give you anything definitive because I didn't even do the best things, but just try to have some way of doing a rough gauge so you can get it pretty even. I'll probably try to make it a little easier in the pattern that I will attempt to write. But other than that, it turned out very well, and as you can see here, this comes right over the top, and that buttonhole's there, and some sort of a button will be here so that it can just clip. So the next thing we're going to do is our edging and also the straps for the bag. So for the edging, we're going to use the crab stitch or the reverse single crochet. So I have a video on that as well, so I encourage you to see that. Man, you guys have to watch a lot of videos. Be sure to subscribe while you're at it. It really helps. But yes, we will be doing the reverse single crochet, the crab stitch, around the edge that is visible currently. So it will be around here, all on the top flap, and all the way around. So right there is going to be what you do, and you have to first do a row, or in this case, would this be a round? But a layer of single crochets, and then you do the reverse single crochet, which is often working in the opposite direction. And then for the bag straps, my idea, I don't know how well this will work, but my idea is that I want to twist this a couple times around until they're both even at the end, and then join one side to the side of the bag. I'll probably get it on the inside of the bag like this and join it somewhere around there, and then do the same thing at the other end and join them the same way and have the handles like that. I'll see what that looks like. Otherwise, you can kind of do whatever you might think of. The idea is to just have a little bag strap so that this bag can actually be carried around without having to hold it with your two hands or something. So I'll do that, and then we'll see what we do about a button. Yeah, I've got to get a button on this thing. So yeah, I'll meet you at the end of this piece. And of course the trim is going to be worked in the second color that we chose. Alrighty, so I'm almost finished. I mean, kind of almost looks done, but I just have a few notes to make because I didn't record me doing every single piece, so there are some things to make mention of. Number one, I also did a little pseudo trim. It's literally just single crochets around the joins that we did. This is optional, you don't have to. The reason I did it was just because I wanted to see what it looked like, number one, and number two, it does add a little bit of structural integrity to the bag, so it kind of holds its shape a little better. I mean, it still kind of doesn't really hold its shape, but you know. Anyway, yeah, so I added this. Again, you don't have to. I was gonna do the full crab stitch, but I thought it would look too, I don't know, weird. You can do it and see what you think. So that's the first thing. Second thing is I added a button. Of course, if you have a button, put a button. I actually crocheted my button, which I'll tell you how to do this one, but I'll have a later tutorial video on how to make crochet buttons like this one, which is just a larger button in case you did a larger buttonhole. Instead of, I did a chain of 2 for my buttonhole, but if you did a chain of 4, then you'd need a larger button. So there's my button right there. Now, I haven't secured this on all too well, it's just the 2 strands that were left over from it, but you will want to secure on your button nice so that it doesn't just pop off randomly, because it will have a lot of strain on it, seeing it's for the bag. So yes, there's that. To make this button, basically all I did was do a magic circle, did single crochets into it, I think this one was 6, then did double crochets, still into the ring and still 6, and then did half double crochets, still into the ring, and I also did 6, and that's how I got this. Again, stay tuned. I will have another video on making buttons. But for now, yes, I have this button here, and as you can see here, I did the crab stitch all the way around this exposed edge. I also did, I believe, slip stitches into the buttonhole, which again is optional, but I did it. And now for this is the important part, the strap. This is how I'm doing my strap, because I have 2 strands that are just twisted. It may depend if you choose to do 1 strand or more strands, but I'm just showing you how you can join it, because you don't want it to show on the outside. And you know, it's a chain, so if you want, you could start your chain from inside of here. I had made mine from before. I had made my straps from before, so I couldn't do that, but you could literally just find one of these loops and start crocheting from there. It is possible. Now, the way you can crochet on the inside of this, like join these in some way without it showing on the outside, is that this particular pattern stitch leaves a lot of free loops. I'm going to use that term loosely because that's not what they are, but the effect is that you can find, so let's randomly, right on here, I can just find a loop, and this loop I can actually put my hook under, but when you look on the outside, you don't even see my hook except through the holes. So it's not like I came through, but I'm still in that loop. So you can use this to your advantage in that you can find one of those loops that's on the inside but does not show itself on the outside, and you can join to them. And for this, I literally crocheted the chain. So basically, I'm going to attempt to demonstrate it again. But basically, I went on the inside, found, oops, where's my end? There we go. Found where I wanted to put my strap, and I found the loop. Let's do this one. And I literally crocheted the chain. So I went into one of the loops of the chain and pulled that through, sort of. I mean, it doesn't fully come through just by nature of it being quite large. And then I went into the next loop that I could find and grabbed the next chain of the strap, and I pulled that through, and then I took the tail that I'd left from the chain and I pulled that through and tied that. I'm sure this was all confusing, but you literally don't have to do this. You can join it in any way you'd like. You can start crocheting with it, and I actually don't like that, so I'm going to redo it. But that was the idea of what I did. But basically, yeah, you can use your yarn needle and weave it in. You can crochet a new piece that gets joined into it. There's a whole number of things that you can do. And now it's stuck, but yeah, there's a whole number of things that you can do to join it to there. That's just what I did on this side, and it worked. I mean, it holds, because you want to have a sturdy hold on this. Again, this area is going to have some level of weight. I don't know what anyone plans on carrying this bag, but it will need to have a strong hold, just like the button. So I'm going to finish all of the rest of this now that I've explained that, and you will see the finished product. Behold, the finished project. All the ends are weaved in, buttons tightly secured, my straps are on, a little twist design I just put in it, just some simple twists. And behold, the surprise of something you can do to make this look a little extra. This is one of the flowers that I've made from my flower applique tutorial, and I just joined it, attached it right onto the cover of the bag. And so I used the same method that I used to make sure that when joining the straps you don't see it on the outside. It's the same thing here, because I used a yarn needle and weaved it in to the top here, but you can't see it from the bottom. Yeah, that's what I'm talking about. And so this is the slip stitch around the buttonhole that I did, and so you can just pull this right over and the button is in, and it stays pretty well. And we have here ourselves a handbag. Again, it's crocheted, so it doesn't really hold its shape too well, and I have to be honest, I don't know exactly how this might be used, but you know, whoever makes this can decide that for themselves. I'm sure there are plenty of uses some human can find for it. I just thought it'd be nice and that someone else would think so. So there you have it. This is a crocheted handbag that you can make, and of course, again, I always say you can use whatever colors you would like. So for now, that will be all for this video. Thank you for watching this video. If you enjoyed this tutorial and want to learn more about crochet, be sure to hit the subscribe button and ring the notification bell so you never miss another video. Don't forget to give this video a big thumbs up, and also share this video with your friends and family or on social media. And feel free to leave a comment down below. If you have any questions or suggestions or any feedback, I'd love to hear from you. Until next time, catch you later.